This program is proudly brought to you by Jane's Bar at the Dome nightclub. Get on down to the hottest party in town, 19 Commercial Road, Paran.
Good evening. Welcome to Squeal on Bent TV, which is part of the Channel 31 group, which is, of course, your community station. And today we're having a little bit of a Mad Hatter's Tea Party to celebrate Hats Off, which is coming off, off. Very shortly.
11th to the 11th.
That's right. Let's introduce our Squealers for today and our special guest. We'll start with the special guest first. It's the wonderful Phelan. Make her welcome, please.
Thank you.
And how are you, ma'am?
Very well, thanks. Well. It's lovely to be back in these very posh new studios. I've sort of seen you go up and up and up and up. And this time I didn't sort of have to battle and get through and climb over things and there's dunny paper and stuff. That's pretty special, I can tell you.
We're all class now.
Yeah.
All right, let's introduce the Squealers. Today we have Chris Sloane, doing his best Molly Meldrum, Vanessa Slinky Bond, Amy Henderson and Troy Ware. Make them welcome too, please. And of course, our Auslan interpreter today is Erin Book. Make her welcome.
Yay!
We've also got Richard Neylon coming in today to talk about hats, actually, and a cameo by the fabulous Katie Underwood. But let's get straight into it to start off with. And we're going to talk about what's on the tips of your lips, madam?
Hats off.
Correct.
Woohoo! I'm going to be changing hats all day. Hats off. Anyone who went and saw it last year knows what a fantastic night it was, and I think this year, if possible, is probably going to be better because we have even more people. It's on at the National Theatre on the 11th of the 11th, very important day, Remembrance Day.
Yes.
There will be acknowledgement in the concert to the fact that it is Remembrance Day. There'll be a beautiful, the last post is going to be played with the AIDS quilt happening, so it'll be a pretty lovely moment. Should I have I got long to talk about this now?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Now I have to put my head down, so maybe if you all sort of want to go down the poster while I read some names out. But we've got stars of the Australian Ballet, we've got members of Mamma Mia, we've got members of the Company of Singing in the Rain, we've got Robin Arthur. Where's this other one? I'll grab this one. You can just talk amongst yourselves. We've got Rhonda Birchmore, Rachel Beck, Bad Boys, Deborah Byrne, Marty Fields, Caroline Gilmer, Robert Grubb, Todd McKenny, gorgeous, Maggie Kirkpatrick, Kitty Cantap, Maria Mercedes, John O'May, Sylvia Palladino, Marina Pryor, Wendy Stapleton, Kim Valentine, Susan Ann Walker, Ann Wood, and the list goes on and on and on. It is going to be fantastic.
What sort of things are they going to be doing? Like the members of Mamma Mia and Singing in the Rain, they're going to be doing bits from...
I heard a rumour the other day that actually the members of Mamma Mia are going to be doing a fantastic version of I Believe I Can Fly. Which will be pretty... That's the thing, you're actually going to see people not necessarily doing what you expect them to do. And that's some of the best thing. The Australian Ballet, yes, they're going to be doing ballet. Stuff like that. And there is a beautiful... they actually asked to come back, the members of the Australian Ballet, because they said it was such a fantastic event last year. So, yeah, but there'll be... Like, I'm there, but I'm sort of... I'm introducing a couple of people, but I might be involved in something else. You might get 8 or 9 of these people together doing extraordinary things. In fact, I've even heard that Bad Boys are going to be doing something they've never done before.
So besides this being...
Take all their clothes off.
No.
Oh, okay.
Besides being an extraordinary event, what is the reason we're doing this for?
Well picked up, Troy. Oz Showbiz Cares Equity Fights AIDS, which is an entertainment industry related group of people. We raise awareness, raise the roof and raise funds for AIDS charities. In this particular case, what we usually do with Hats Off and last year the Prisoner Party, we split them down the middle and give them to particular people. This year's Hats Off, the beneficiaries will be going to Rosehaven and San Miguel Supportive Accommodation. So it's those two will be coming. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I have to say, it's Ticketek, of course. And I have to say that tickets have only just gone on sale and we have got close to the 300 mark already.
Wow.
So that's a third of the theatre. So I'm not saying this just, quick, get in there. I really think you're going to have to get in there to get tickets this year.
It really is a fantastic
$40,
night.
$30 concession.
That's brilliant, really.
Which is stunning.
Well, for Deborah Byrne and
all
Maria
those
Pryor.
performers.
Yeah. Plus, it's at the National Theatre in St Kilda. It's licensed, so you can have a drink.
And not only that, not only do you get to see them on stage, but you get to mingle.
You do get to, yes, you get to mingle afterwards. We're going to get you to mingle out of the theatre though, because
Last time it went on.
we've got to go to the news desk in 2 minutes.
thank
See,
you.
I know what floor managers do.
Someone's
Oh, his little rabbit
concentrating.
ears just fell off then. So, we're going to go elsewhere for a bit of an after-show party because if we go 1 second past midnight, and that includes the bump out, we're up for huge amounts for the theatre.
next.
So it's everybody out, talk in the street. Go out and meet everyone, mingle in the streets of St Kilda. News
That's
desk.
fun. Well, we might... What are we doing? Shall we... No, not yet.
Oh, another minute. Okay.
We're not going to go there yet. I got an email this week for the 12th Melbourne Queer Film Festival, and there's a poster competition that's coming up for next year's Queer Film Festival. Says here, get local, national and international exposure. You have to... do an A4 concept of what you want to do, and then a 50-word bio of who and why you are, and you can send it into 35 Cato Street, Paran 3181, care of the Melbourne Queer Film Festival. There's also other details there, and you can email us here at squirnews@qmal.com.au for the rest of the details. And now we will go to the news desk, and we have a new newsreader today, Dean from Joy Melbourne. Take it away, Dean.
Hey.
Good afternoon. The Also Foundation, one of Australia's oldest gay and lesbian community organisations, will be able to report an improved financial situation to its members at its annual general meeting next week. But also President Adam Prickvance says the organisation's future remains insecure as a result of changing royalties in the gay and lesbian community. ALSO's 2000 to 2001 accounts show an operating profit for the financial year of $15,382, as opposed to a loss for the 1999-2000 financial year of $96,000 plus. Mr Pickvance stressed that ALSO's losses in the past were not due to overspending or mismanagement, but to a fall in revenue. The days when they ran their only dance parties in Melbourne are over, and we have to change the way we run our parties if we want people to keep coming to them. He attributed the decline to changes in the composition of the gay and lesbian community, and pointed out that the other dance party organisers such as the Lesbian, Gay and Mardi Gras are experiencing similar problems. The New South Wales Gay and Lesbian Rights Lobby has slammed the Howard government's record and urged lesbians and gay men to shun it at the polls. In a move that has angered progressive Liberals, the lobby has advised the community not to help return the Howard government. The lobby co-convener, Mr Alex Sosnov, said that over the 5.5 years of the Howard government, they have attacked our families, denied us equality and superannuation, cut immigration for same-sex partners and wound back the few protections we had at a federal level. A group of gay Liberals, headed by South Sydney City Councillor Shane Mallard, said that the lobby's position would damage their ability to work with the Liberal Party in future years. However, the Gay and Lesbian Rights Lobby says that they have quite a good relationship with Liberals at the state and local levels of government, but that there was a vacuum of interest and concern on lesbian and gay issues coming from the Prime Minister's office. And now back to the Squealers.
Okay, thanks, Dean.
I've changed hats.
Oh, you did too.
Yeah,
I didn't even
it's
see
all to do
that.
with hats off, hats on,
yes,
trained
hats.
hats.
Inspector Gadget.
I got this at an op shop for 25 cents. Isn't it
Did
just
you?
the best?
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
It's gorgeous.
It's like it was
And
made
it's
for it,
almost like you can imagine the gentleman who wore it.
To the carnival.
Probably went to the spring racing carnival.
And down the
yeah.
rises.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we've got a lot more time than I thought we'd
Oh,
do.
that's good.
That's okay.
Velvet tonsils there, isn't it?
He's got a
Beneath
lovely
desk.
voice, yes.
Very lovely.
Very
yes.
nice.
Very
Let's talk about something else that we've spoken about recently, which is the Rainbow Gong Show,
Yay.
which is coming up on Friday, the 2nd of November at 7:30 at the Greyhound Hotel, which is 1 Brighton Road, St Kilda. It is a Bent TV fundraiser, so a gold coin donation on the door. All
And
proceeds
can I
go
just
to
mention,
Bent TV.
while we're talking about that, entry's actually closed on Friday, so by the time
get our
we're
thing?
watching this, you can't enter. But if you ring Terry from the Gong Show on 0411 877 659 and ask him very, very nicely,
They'll let you know.
maybe, but we need more entries. We definitely need
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's already a little bit of work that's going into a couple of the acts that we here at Bent TV are
But you
putting together.
haven't. Yeah, and don't forget to enter.
And then we
in
did
the
put
end.
our entry form in, yeah, we did all this other stuff beforehand. All right, I think we're just about out of here for this segment. Coming back, we have Richard Nolan, and here's a Milliner.
The Mad Hatter, I
The
believe.
Mad Hatter, yes. So we're all going to have a lovely cup of peppermint tea.
Oh, yes, please.
This is the silkiest looking peppermint tea I've seen for a while.
This is rather lovely peppermint tea.
Rather lovely.
Very
And come back and join us here on our Hats Off
Cheers.
edition of Squeal.
Was tired of running out of love, thinking about giving up. Didn't know what to do, and there was you. Everything went so wrong tonight, and the stars came out to fill up the sky. Music you were playing really blew my mind. It was love at first sight. 'Cause baby, when I
Someone just choked Kylie, I think. Welcome back to the second segment of Squeal here on Bent TV Channel 31, and we have been. I was going to say it. I'm going to try not to. Our guest today is Richard Neylon. Make him welcome, please. And Richard is a milliner. So that's one of the reasons with Hats Off and our Mad Hatters Tea Party that we've got you in today. So, and we've got a couple of your creations here on these
Which
supermodels.
And now women of mystery.
just exquisite, Richard. They really are.
Just gorgeous.
Yes, I'm very fond of this one.
Thank you.
What arrangements we can make.
Yeah, thank you for taking time out of probably what is one of your busiest periods of the year.
Most definitely the
Yeah.
busiest time of the year. Yes, Melbourne Cup. It's amazing, and hats will be in fashion very strongly next winter as well. But whenever the Spring Racing Carnival comes around, it's like, oh my God, women who don't wear hats are just clamouring for them. By the time that it actually comes to the day, and I'm still actually making things on the day of the races, they just put anything on their heads in a way that there you are. Off you go.
Does it really get to that
Gets to that
extent where people
stage,
I don't care what it is, you
Yeah,
know, brown
yeah.
paper bag with a hat pin through it.
Yeah. And I'll just wear my black suit and black handbag and shoes.
Do you think anyone will notice?
Richard, on the course this year, what are they wearing?
Well, I mean, this might sound silly, but mauve is very big. Mauve. Yeah,
So
because
80s.
hot pink has
Well,
done
that's very,
that.
what you've got on's very, that's a bit, is that 80s?
Well, I guess it is with all the
Yeah.
glitz, but it's sort of, I'd like to think that it's sort of,
I mean,
I really love
now
the 30s,
it's
40s and 50s and wave hats. I mean, I love feminine, very pretty stuff, and the designer who I work for, Gwendolyn, she really likes that style too. I mean, I'd like to say my style is pretty, sophisticated, but a little bit spooky in a way too, like always a bit mysterious and quite glamorous. Unlike me, but
Do you always wear a hat yourself?
I try to, yeah, I try to.
Great.
Do you think that people wear hats enough?
Well, it's up to the person who wears them. It's sort of like a thing you have to get used to. It's an acquired taste. And I know whenever I go out, like Gwendolyn and I usually go out together, we always wear hats. And like people think, oh, what's the occasion? I say, well, it's a hat wearing day.
My head was cold.
No, it was cold or whatever. You know, it just happens to be something that I like to do and I feel quite comfortable about. I mean, if it was the 1950s, we all would have worn hats into the studio.
It's one of those things, isn't
and
it?
gloves and handbags. I mean, even the women would have. So, you
I
know.
think some people suit hats and some people don't. Like, do you believe that thing? I've heard people say, oh no, hats just don't suit me.
No, they just haven't found the right hat yet.
Yeah.
Or the right milliner?
All the right.
I think when you find a hat though, like I've had this hat here for numbers and numbers of big day outs, and I wouldn't trade for this hat for anything.
Well, it's fine.
This will go to straw, and I will still have it on my head.
I've never had a hat. I'm a cap boy, but I've never actually had a hat. And it's what you were saying, it's one of those forgotten, you know, people always accessorise and they spend thousands of dollars on this and all of that. And a simple, clean line hat can just bring so much more to an outfit than all that.
Well, it
other
changes,
stuff.
and also people say putting on a hat is actually taking on another job, and putting on a hat is actually will change your whole demeanour. I mean, you know, in role-playing games and that sort of thing. You know, the hat makes a difference to the way you behave. You know, and sort of like these, I mean, we see all the leather queens and stuff, they wear the leather caps and stuff. Headgear is an enormous part of that culture.
Oh, God, yes, it is. Yeah,
So
totally. All those leather daddies with their big nose and
I
their...
know. I mean, go and ask them for a pavlova recipe. They'll get the best one in town.
Absolutely.
So tell me, for something like this sort of hat,
Yeah.
where do you get the inspiration from, and how long does it take you to make this amazing
Well,
sort of
with
creation?
that sort
This
of
one's
thing.
hand done.
Yeah, that one's hand done. With the inspiration just comes from looking at old magazines, like I collect old magazines from op shops and stuff, and just playing with the materials I use, and, you know, coming up with an idea and following it through. You know, creativity comes with creating, so things like these ones are just, you know, they just happen.
Do you ever get people coming to you and saying, I'm very specific about what I wear, and can you do that, or do you only make what
they
you
do.
create?
Yes, they do. I mean, I really like looking at their outfit and saying, well, I think this would suit you or that would suit you. I mean, if someone comes to me and their idea is completely and utterly stuffed,
Yeah.
then I try and bring them around to my way of thinking, which is, of course, utterly tasteful.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting working with people and their idea of taste, let me put it that way.
Do these hats sell like during the year, not just at the
Things
carnivals?
like this for cocktails and you know, special events and sometimes weddings and things, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we have another instalment from the Joy News Desk, and we'll come back and chat a little bit more in a minute. Yeah, take it away.
Good evening. For the first time in Victoria's history, a transgender woman has started her hormone treatments while serving a jail term. The woman has been trying to access the hormone treatments for over 4 years, but was denied access because she was not on hormones before she entered the high security facility. Medication is now available to the prisoner after the passing of the Tranny Bill late last year, a modification to the Equal Opportunity Act that eradicated discrimination against transgender people in many areas of state law. To withhold hormone medication from a patient in Victoria became unlawful since the passing of the bill. The trial of the former managing director of the collapsed satellite group, Greg Fisher, has begun in Sydney. The criminal case, expected to proceed over the next 2 weeks in the Darlinghurst District Court, saw Fisher plead not guilty to 3 counts of dishonestly and knowingly making improper use of his position during his time at the head of the satellite group. When Satellite went into liquidation on November 24th last year, it left behind the remains of 7 gay and lesbian newspapers around Australia. The company was believed to have left over $35 million in debts, and the closure resulted in the unemployment of over 50 staff and numerous contract writers. Dr. Karen Phelps, current president of the Australian Medical Association, resigned as chairperson of Satellite after her recommendation that the company go into voluntary administration was rejected. She's expected to make an appearance at the court, along with former Executive Director of Media, Greg Gall. And now back to the Squealers.
Fantastic, thank you for that.
You're having my peppermint tea then.
Now let's just, we've had a bit of a hat change.
Hat
we
change.
have to make a special note of, we've got the lovely...
Mon Taylor gave me
Mon.
this hat when she left television
Well,
8 weeks ago.
Something in the air that we know there. And this is the gentleman that played Mon's son, Wayne, on Something in the Air. Sullivan Stapleton, big spunk. We love him very much.
Look at this.
Look at this one here.
Yes, this is my
Isn't
my sort of black and white Gainsborough hat. Oh, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
It's sensational. I think that's the next
I want to do that scene, the Ascot scene from My Fair
Oh
Lady.
yes, yeah, it's a bit like that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Cecil
Magic.
Beaton does
And
that very well,
Titanic,
yeah.
I love that scene with the hat where she looks out from under the hat.
Yeah.
Troy, bring us your entertainment news.
Entertainment time.
How long have you had your hat, Troy?
2 hours. 2 hours. I actually got it from work anyway. Now it's for entertainment news. Due to 2 Hour Shores, very early November will be Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
Now, which I'll be there, by the way. But
Me too.
whilst he's in here, he's got a secret rendezvous with Nicole Kidman, who'll be in Sydney also promoting her new movie, The Others. So let's see what happens there. Maybe some romance will spark again.
But he's mine.
Now, Brittany, you might remember last month, got caught drinking some Coke when she's got the biggest Pepsi sponsorship ever.
Don't drink.
Well, she's now just been caught leaving a Californian recording studio drinking Sunkiss. So do you think Pepsi are going to be happy with that after spending millions and millions of dollars? No. Now, Kylie will be recording the new theme song, a new theme song for a new soapy in Britain called Always and Forever.
No.
Not good movie. Anyway, move on. Madonna is set to get the top marks for an eBay auction for a children's charity with the top she wore at her concert, and she signed it, and it's a gorgeous little top, but I don't have the $30,000+ they want for it.
US?
Yeah. Anyway, and lastly from me, can we all remember Baywatch and how it ended, and Mitch, who was David Hasselhoff, he was blown up in an underwater explosion. Well, in the new movie, which has been postponed because they're all too scared to travel, it's going to have all the original cast members, including him. Now, do you know how they're writing him back in?
They climbed in?
No.
It was a Dallas dream. J.O.'s not
No,
dead.
came back like Harold from like Neighbours, like just
A whale saved him and took him to an island.
I believe that.
This guy down here is getting far too pushy, I'm afraid. Vanessa,
Okay.
Mr. Tom Hitler here wants Vanessa to talk now.
Well, I've been doing a bit of surfing on the net, that is. Come up with a few tidbits, and you know I like a few tidbits. Very quickly, did you know that there's a magazine in America called Women's Monthlies? Yes. And there's a gay bank in America as well, which is closing next year. But the financial research is actually called James Van Dyke, which I thought was a bit strange. Rosie O'Donnell has got married in a private ceremony to her long-term girlfriend,
I was going to say man or woman.
Carpenter. No, married to a woman.
No.
There's a raunchy computer game which is launched in the UK. It's called Mondo Pondo Wild. What it is, it's designed for 2 to 9 players. They ask you questions. If you get one wrong, you've got to do some shocking dares. And apparently it gets very XXX. If you want to download it at all, you can go to www.mondopondo.com. I'll be doing that straight away. Jerry Halliwell, well, you know how she takes off a little bit of clothing at every film clip she makes? Well, she's stripping completely. Completely naked.
Dental floss in the
Yeah.
studio.
For her neck to promote a new single, Calling, which is coming out the end of November, which I thought I'm really looking forward to that one.
Oh, God.
Sarah Marie is on the cover of a South Australian gay magazine, Blaze, so I thought, let's have a look at this interview. She was asked a question, you kissed Andy on the show, would you ever consider having a lesbian relationship? And she replied, oh, I would never buff muff, but I don't mind snogging girls.
Oh my God!
Finally, just wanted to quickly say there's a website called dorothyonline.com.au, and they talk about things like, do you have any advice for shaving pubic hair? Fisting gone wrong, please help. I can't get rid of parasites in my stool. I love rimming, but how safe is it? Thank you very much.
It's your turn to be very quick, Amy.
That's all right. I was going to be quick. I just wanted to mention that, I mean, we've worn the red ribbons for AIDS Day and the blue and white ribbons for the Bluey Day. And these pink ones are for breast cancer awareness.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important. If it's an important cause, I'll buy a ribbon.
Yeah.
So, breast cancer. I was wondering if anyone saw Rove and him doing Kylie.
Yes, so
He
funny.
did Can't Get You Out of My Head and the whole white number with the slit on the side and hairy legs. And
Very funny.
so, yes.
It was very funny.
Very camp.
I found it better than the actual.
Oh, shut up. We know you don't like Kylie. Who cares?
He loves dragging up
Doing that
Rove.
because it's time for us to go. Thank you for coming in, Sloane. You stay for the next segment.
Of course I will.
Fair.
I have another cap on too.
Make yourselves a cuppa. Come back very shortly. This is Squeal on Bent TV.
Pinky's up.
Oh, it's wonderful. You've been here with me. Close your eyes so you can see.
Welcome back to Squeal here on Bent TV. And no one has joined us, no one's gone anywhere. We're staying right here.
I've changed hats though.
Oh,
Again. Yeah, and you've changed hats too.
Yes, it's
Similar
another
sort
one
of feel, but
We're changing hats for hats off.
The girls are
Tick, tick,
changing
tick.
either. All right, Christopher.
Okay, I attended the AIDS vigil, candlelight vigil where Annie spoke at 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
2 weeks ago,
yeah.
John Thwaites and the government more behind it, who spoke very well. Found a very alarming thing, and I'll actually throw it to the rest of the panel, was that I was the youngest person there. Why is that? What is it the community is doing? The younger people, our generation, what are we doing? Are we looking after this quilt, this tradition? And why aren't we involved? I don't know. Ask you guys. What do you think? Well,
I think there's a lot of other stuff going on at this time of the year, especially at the moment with the world climate and all that sort of stuff, and I think that people have forgotten. Yeah, definitely.
But I think, too, what you're saying is that some traditions, young people, A, don't know about them, and B, aren't getting involved, and how can we change that?
the thing is,
I think tradition's very important.
where I could draw a conclusion, I'm not being critical of the organisers of this thing because I do think it's very important that the community does have this. What I am critical is the emphasis, how religious orientated it was, and how we can, say, modernise it, get the younger people involved, sharpen up a bit. We're not asking for drag queens, but something a bit more modern, something with a bit more smack in it, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
A bit more oomph. Get the younger people involved because I think it's important that they're there
But perhaps
to carry on the
But
tradition.
perhaps, I mean, I do have some younger friends, amazingly enough, and it's got back to the idea that AIDS is an old man's disease, and it's older men who get it, not young men. And one particular guy, he was saying all these really silly things about, you can get AIDS from this or not from the other, and it was actually quite disturbing. And I said, no, that's not the case. I mean, you're an intelligent man. What are you thinking this for? I think the actual awareness of how HIV is transmitted and what actually goes on, and it's all sort of fallen in a bit of a slump now.
We need to start from basics again.
Also, too,
The youth, it needs to have youth.
I take what you mean, but see, originally that candlelight ceremony was, and the quilt is for people who have lost someone
Yes.
to remember. So that's often hard to start a ceremony like that with,
That's right.
brass bands and stuff. So the young person often mightn't have lost someone who's very close. So you've got to balance. I think you have to have that contemplation that is there. But I do agree with you. it's getting it out there.
Perhaps it should be a celebration of people living with HIV/AIDS, because a lot more people are living a lot longer, and also a remembrance at the same time of the people who have died.
Yeah.
Because if you combine it, you know, it'll be a bit, I don't know, it needs to be combined. A lot of people living with HIV/AIDS, yes, people have died, we remember them, we remember what they've done, and they didn't die in vain, because, you know...
Just on that, let's take that and use it in an educational way.
Yeah, it has to be.
You know, I think that's very important, and as I said, to bring the youth into it, carry on the tradition. Don't let it loose. Don't let the quilt die.
So maybe it needs someone like yourself,
Well,
to get in.
Maybe,
See, this
yeah,
is the
well,
other thing too, as we all know here, we're all volunteers. You know, you work your butt off for all of these different organisations, and when it actually comes down to doing stuff, it's always the same small group.
Yeah.
that is exactly right, and that is something that I found with the
Need
whole
some
lot.
other fresh blood, some young fresh blood.
kicking us
Fresh blood.
Yes, fresh blood.
As we all do.
You're not taking control here.
I'm not taking... Well, you know, I think it is.
He needs the other hat.
We are going for the final instalment from the Joy News Desk. Take it away.
A second round of Brack's government law reforms, the next step in the broad-reaching state same-sex law equalisation introduced in June, has been passed through Parliament's Legislative Assembly. The further reform process finalises the process started by Attorney General Rob Hulls, which transforms all references to the opposite sex de facto definition into the gender non-specific domestic partner. The bill was debated for several hours last Wednesday and received the support of the opposition Liberal Party. New York Governor George Pataki issued an executive order last week granting the surviving partners of gay and lesbian victims of the September 11 World Trade Center attacks benefits equal to those to the spouses of heterosexual victims. According to the New York gay and lesbian group Empire State Pride Agenda, the order marks the first official step taken by any level of government in the United States to address the inequities faced by gay and lesbian survivors of the terrorist attacks in obtaining benefits. This is an incredibly just and humane act that recognises that all families, gay and straight, deserve equal support in the aftermath of this calamity, said Matt Foreman, Executive Director of the Pride Agenda. Ernest Hemingway's biological son, Gregory Hemingway, who went by the name Gloria Hemingway, was found dead this week in a Florida jail cell, according to a spokesperson for the state's county-run corrections department. Hemingway, who dressed as a woman and who police believe had undergone a sex change operation, was arrested last week. It was at least her third arrest. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I've completely lost it. And now back to the Squealers.
Thank you. Well done there, boys. Very good. All right, now have we got the Squeal contacts coming up now on the screen? Now the phones are still temporary. Oh, there's a temporary phone number there: 9484 1177. 9484 1177, or fax us 9484 6028, or squealnews@qmail.com.au. All right, thank you very much. Let's wrap up for today. Thank you for coming in very much and showing us some of the hats. Good luck and hope you keep you don't go insane before Melbourne Cup, of course. Now, hats off.
Hats off, 11th of November, National Theatre, tickets through Ticketek, and get onto it because they are selling fast. Oh, there you are.
I was just going to say, if you want to see Amy and I at the Girl Bar Run, this will be there next year.
We must also thank the Girl Bar. They donated the part of the door funds to Bent TV just recently. Again,
Cloakroom.
I've got Cloakroom. Okay, Cloakroom, door.
And
same.
just quickly, the Sport of Kings turning into the Sport of Queens. Our lovely sponsor, Miss Jane, at the Melbourne Cup and the Spring Carnival. Stay tuned to
done,
Bent
Miss
TV
Jane.
because we've been bringing you more
I
of
feel
that.
like going to the races now, Aaron.
I know.
I saw this article. There's an exhibition about the human body in Chicago that has a vomit machine, a fart pinball game, a sneezing nose, but the guy, one of the kids said that the best thing was that we got to smell the butt.
Oh, good.
Isn't that great that we're teaching our kids?
Wow.
Do you want to throw that little one in?
Robot Pussy's the perfect pet. The latest for pet lovers who don't want to clean up afterwards. Nikoro cat robots meow, they blink and they beg for cuddles. The cats go on sale in, guess where? Japan, next month for $1,500.
Amy's got one of them.
Robot robot pussies.
Robot.
I want to see what the interpreter does with robot pussies.
All right.
I'd like to see Dr. Harry fix one.
I'd like to see what James Herriot does with one.
Let's not forget the Rainbow Gong Show, which is coming up on the Friday, the 2nd of November at the
Get your
Greyhound Hotel.
entries in.
7:30 till late gold coin entry.
That's going to be huge.
It is going to be a good
Going to
night,
be
I
a
think.
big
This is
laugh.
my gardening hat, in case people are wondering.
Is
Isn't
that?
it great? You know, I don't garden, but I put it on. I put it on and walk around in it.
That's what
If you
you
did garden, that's the hat you'd wear.
Yeah, it would be.
No garden, new pot plant.
Now,
No, I just, I'm one of those people that, you know, I plant something and wish it the best of luck.
And
my mother hasn't got a green thumb.
No, purple.
For those of you that are feeling lost and don't know what you need to do with your lives, I suggest that you grab Sarah Marie's Guide to Life, and that's sure to fix everything up for you. There we go. There, she's had her book release, and of course, the very tragic single which she doesn't even sing, she talks on, which is very interesting. Kylie is just smashing it everywhere. She is on #1 in the UK again. She's still holding Bob the Builder out of the way. By the Afro Man here in Australia. What are we doing? It's crazy. All right, that's about all we've got time for today. Chris,
thank you.
Vanessa, that hat is so becoming. Amy, you look saucy. Troy, thank you. Thank you for coming in today.
A pleasure.
And as I said, keep
I
on
won't go
sewing
down.
and dying away. Annie, thank you so much for coming
Thank
in
you
today.
again.
And the lovely Erin Book there. Signing away your little hut. You can rest your arms now. Thank you very much. I have no idea what these people are going on about. We have Katie Underwood singing for the credits. I'd just like to say that our hearts go out with all the family, friends of the Australian troops that are going out. We hope that you come home safe, boys and girls.
Whatever way you think about it, let's support them.
Absolutely. Thank you. This has been Squeal on Bent TV.
Street.
This program was proudly brought to you by Jane's Bar at the Dome nightclub. Get on down to the hottest party in town, 19 Commercial Road.